All right, IM1 classes. Today we're talking about parallel lines cut by transversal and the interesting things that happen with the angles that are created by the transversal. First thing we need to talk about is what are parallel lines and what is a transversal? So parallel lines are lines that never intersect. You should know that definition before. And then a transversal is a line that intersects two or more other lines. So this line coming through here would be the transversal. These lines are parallel lines. So things I want to talk about with parallel lines. When we have parallel lines on a diagram, they're notated. We can see that they're parallel. You'll see little triangles on the lines that are pointed the same way, or like little arrowheads like that. Usually they're different color on the line, but not always. Sometimes you'll see black, depending on the textbook or worksheet you're looking at. But when you have arrows like this means that the lines are parallel. And then the notation with this, there is a symbol to notate parallel lines. So we have line AB is parallel to, so you just do two parallel lines, DC. So you'll see this notation a lot too. AB is parallel to DC. This just means parallel. It's like a double L, all right? Parallel to. What the main part of the lesson today is talking about the interesting things that happen with the angles. There's a lot of congruent angles in here. Remember, congruent angles have the same measure. There's also a lot of supplementary angles. So remember, supplementary adds up to 180. Some of these relationships have a specific name. We're going to talk about those real quick. I don't really expect you to remember the different names. The important part is if you're looking at a diagram of two parallel lines cut by transversal, you can identify which angles are congruent and which angles are supplementary. So let's get to some of this. So there are one of the angle pair relationships that is created are corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are angles that are in the same position on the different intersections. So if you see, and there's four sets of corresponding angles. That's why I have four diagrams here. So we have the two parallel lines cut by a transversal. I'm gonna highlight here. So this angle up here, it's in the top left corner of this intersection. That means the angle down here in the top left corner would be its corresponding angle. All right. This one, top right corner, would be corresponding with top right corner here. Then we have bottom left and bottom left are corresponding, and then bottom right and bottom right are corresponding. So if they're in the same position, right, you can think of the positions, it's top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. If they're in the same position on the two different intersections, we call those corresponding angles, and corresponding angles are congruent. So that means these yellow angles are equal to each other. These pink angles are equal to each other. These blue angles are equal to each other, and these green arrow angles are equal to each other. All right, so the corresponding angles. If we put it all in one, that might help. We can see corresponding in all the same diagram. Maybe that also helps. So, so yellow is equal to each other, pink's equal to each other, blue and green. All right, those are the corresponding angles. All right, before we talk about the next ones, we need to talk about the interior and exterior. That's a term that's going to be used a lot here. So when you hear interior, that's talking about the space in between the two parallel lines. When you hear exterior, that's talking about the space outside of the parallel lines. So hopefully that makes sense. But again, interior is your first thing in between the lines. Exterior is out between the parallel lines, outside of the parallel lines. Anyway, alternate exterior angles. So angles on opposite side of the transversal, opposite side of the parallel line, outside of the parallel line. So Alternate exterior, there's two sets here. This angle and then this angle down here would be alternate exterior angles. So top left and bottom right, alternate exterior. So on the exterior, alternate sides of the transversal all the way outside. And then the other set would then be this angle here and this angle here. Those are alternate exterior angles. Outside of the transversal, opposite sides of the transversal, outside the parallel lines, these are also congruent. Congruent means they have the same measure. So the green angles are equal to each other. This one, so let's say this was 120 degrees. That means this would be 120 degrees. They are congruent. If this was 60 degrees, this would be 60 degrees. They are congruent. They are the same measure. Next one we need to talk about, alternate interior angles. So this time they are inside the parallel line. So we have this angle here, and then this angle here would be alternate interior angles. And then out here, I just did that one. So this angle here and this angle here. These are also congruent. That means if this was 50 degrees, this angle would also be 50 degrees. So if this angle was 130 degrees, this angle would be 130 degrees. They are congruent, the same measure, right? Last one we talked about, same side interior angles. So they're on the same side of the transversal between the parallel lines. So that would be this one here and this one here. Those are same side transversal. You can be on the other side here. So this angle here and this angle here, same side transversal. And then these are supplementary. So they add to 180. So say this was 110 down here. This one would have to be 70 degrees. They have to add to 180. Let's say this was 80 degrees. This would be 100 degrees. They need to add up to 180. All right. So let's look at this. Select the correct label, angle Y and angle X. So since Y is in the bottom right, X is in the bottom right, they're in the same position, right? Bottom right. That one's in the bottom right of that. So if they're in the same position, they are corresponding angles. Same position. Here they are in between. They're inside on the interior. There's actually only one of those choices here. This is going to be same side interior angles. Actually made a mistake with the no, never mind. Same side interior angles here. Alternate, they are on the exterior, so they are alternate exterior angles. And then the last one, so here they are alternate interior angles. They're on opposite sides of the transversal on the interior. So, most important part of this lesson is determining if the angles are congruent or supplementary. Real easy to figure this out since all the angles, I'm actually going to sketch out the parallel marks here. So these lines are parallel to each other. There's basically just two angle measures in this whole diagram. There's 8 angles, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are just 2 angle measures. There's the big angle and the small angle, right? A big angle, all the big angles are equal to each other. So if I highlight all the big angles, so I'll put those in yellow. So all the big angles, that's a big angle, big angle, big angle. Those angles are all equal to each other. All right, and then all the small angles are equal to each other. And then here, a yellow and a blue, if they're different colors, they add to 180. All right. So same color. Same color, that means same measure. Different color, that means add to 180. So same color is congruent, different color is supplementary. That is the most important thing to remember. And so let's look at a bunch of examples identifying congruent and supplementary. I think if you have colored pencils or markers, real quick, make just that checkerboard pattern. You can do it with one color if you want. I'll do it with all, but you're going to make this checkerboard pattern. If they're the same color, they are congruent. If they're different colors, they are supplementary. So Y and X are the same color, so they are congruent. I don't know why that's right. All right, this one here. So make that checkerboard pattern. Y and X are opposite colors. That means they add to 180. So X and Y are supplementary. Same color, they're equal. Different color, they add to 180. Next one. Make that checkerboard pattern. X and Y are the same color. That means same measure. That means they are equal. They are congruent. Next one. Make the checkerboard pattern. X and Y are the same color. That means they're the same measure. They are equal. So next few, what you're going to do, you need to identify if they are congruent or supplementary, and then figure out the missing angle measure. So again, it's very helpful, just real quick, if you have colored pencils, mark off the diagram, color code it. So angles are the same, that are the same color, have the same measure. So since 96 and the question mark have the same color, that means this is 96. All right, so make the checkerboard pattern. So the question mark and the 59 are both blue, same color, same measure, 59 degrees. Next one, I'm just going to do like this. Maybe that'll make it a little bit quicker. So same color. So the question mark and the 71 are the same color. That means they have the same measure. Same color means same measure. So that is 71. And then the last one. When they are different colors, so this 69 is yellow, the question mark is blue. When they're different colors, you need to, they add to 180. So 69 plus the question mark is 180. So to figure out what the question mark is, subtract from 180. That comes out to 111. All right. That is all I have for you. Do the rest of the assignment on Edge Elastic. If you have any questions, make sure you email me. Other than that, we will see you guys next time.